Can't wait till I get home so you can tear that cherry out. Turn that cherry out. Turn that cherry out. I want you to turn that cherry out. Turn that cherry out. I want you to turn that cherry out. Turn that cherry out.
T Squad, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is back. And everybody showed up and clocked in. One of the best season premiere episodes ever. The best this year, I must say. Like, Salt Lake City is running the girls right now. They are the number one show, in my opinion, out of all of the housewives. The other girls from the other franchises need to mimic what they're doing because they are running it. Okay? And did you guys know or remember that Keisha's Theater was born from season 4 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? So it's been a year. Yay! Since our first Keisha's Theater. We started last season because of Meredith. Can't wait to do my Meredith voice. I'm just elated. Okay. So, this is my RTO Shade Season 5, Episode 1 recap video for The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And yes, you will be getting a Keisha's Theater because we got so much to go over. All right. First, let's start off with the opener. How about a round of applause for the editor? The editing on that opener was one of the best openers I've ever seen in any reality show. They literally shot it like a TV drama. I love the transitions. I love how they showed the ladies sitting in front of their green screens. It was epic. Whoever is doing the production and editing over there in Salt Lake City needs to be on every other franchise show because they are shitting on the other franchises. Okay? Gotta get that out the way. Lisa is throwing a Valentine's Day party, which she's calling Besos, but was kind of on the fence about inviting Whitney, who had recently gone on the Vile Files. And during her interview, she said that Lisa has always been a villain, right? Did she lie? No. Not at all. But it's like the pot calling the kettle black because Whitney, you're a villain too, okay? But Whitney lives in clouds and sugar fairies where she thinks that nothing that she does is ever wrong and it's everybody else, but she's just like the problem solver or the one that points everything out that everybody else does. Mary, my favorite, who is back being a full-time housewife this season, arrives to the party with none other than Angie K. And I'm looking like, what is going on here? But they have become besties. I told y'all this months ago that they are like this now. They hang with each other all the time. And they came wearing matching Birkin bags, red, which was fabulous, honey. And I was like, okay, I can see this. Don't think it's going to last long, but I see it. And I'm vibing with it. It's okay. Even though Angie K kind of get on my nerves. But y'all know how much I love Mary. She's one of my favorite housewives of all time. Heather arrives and, you know, she has been on her Ozempic journey. So she is teeny tiny. And y'all, this episode was filled with so many moments that had me hollering. So when Mary saw Heather, Mary said, "You look pretty and thin. You're thin." I'm like, wow, bitch. Wasn't expecting it coming from you. And Heather finally feels seen by Mary now that she's skinny. Girl, I can't. So then we're introduced to Lisa's friend, Bronwyn, who is a new housewife. She's 38 years old. She's heavily into fashion, which you know I live for, okay? She's married to a 65-year-old grandpa, all right? They have a 17-year-old daughter together, or I don't know if that's together, but she has a 17-year-old daughter. And her step kids, one of them is like 5 years older than her. So of course her and Whitney got a lot to like bond over, as well as Mary, because they're both married to old geezers, right? But I like Bronwyn so far. I'm loving her aesthetic. She's it seems like she did just enough for me this episode, where it's like she got in there in the conversations, but she wasn't doing team too much, right? Liking her thus far. She arrives to the party in a Yves Saint Laurent heart-shaped jacket, and immediately when she walked in with it, I was like, oh, so she got money. Because if you're a fashion girl like myself, then you already knew that Rihanna was spotted walking the streets of New York years ago wearing that same jacket, which we later found out there's only 3 in the world. Rihanna has one, Bronwyn has one, and then the other one is in the museum. And I was like, come through, ma'am. Yes, sorry, Bob. Whitney arrives to Lisa's surprise, even though she invited her. She was still stunned that Whitney came. Of course Whitney was going to come. Like, what? So Whitney arrives and does not speak to Lisa, which I was like, ooh, shady. Come on, Whitney. All right. Somebody done got a battery in they back. Heather introduces her friend Brittany, who's divorced and dating Donnie and Marie Osmond's nephew, Jared Osmond. They have been on and off, breaking up, making up, breaking up, making up. But she says that there's just something about him that she can't get enough of. Baby, let me tell you something. Brittany made her mark this episode, because a good little chunk of this episode was based off her interactions with Bronwyn and Mary. And baby, this was a conversation that I never knew I needed or wanted, but I'm happy that I was alive to witness it. Okay? So, mind you, Brittany is talking to Meredith, and she was like, I like your coat, because, you know, it's cold outside. They got on their furs and stuff. And she tells Meredith that the fur that she's wearing is her great-grandmother's coat from like 100 years ago, right? And it looked like it. It literally looked like it. I was looking like, girl, that ain't nothing to brag on. Like, that looked like somebody's shag carpet. It just was not hidden. So Bronwyn and Mary over there sitting, and they, you know, relating over fashion. Bronwyn came over, was like, you know I love your coat, because I got it too. Mary was wearing a Dolce & Gabbana like trench coat. So then Brittany decides to come over and sit with them. And the first thing that comes out of her mouth is, Bronwyn, I love your costume. And Bronwyn said, my costume? I was like, girl, did you not just call this lady outfit a costume? Like, oh, so you being shady. Okay, we doing that. Baby. And Mary said, oh, Lord. She didn't call it a costume. I'm done. That's fashion, honey. So they both was offended. Bronwyn was on some, you can't come to this couch with Mary and I and call it a costume. That's fighting words to Mary and I. And so Mary in her confessional Thompson, who is this? Thompson, she's the one who looks like she had on a costume. It looked like a German Shepherd coat. Like she took about 17 German Shepherds to the groomer, made it a coat, and then dyed it burgundy. It was like the texture. She was like, it's the texture though, baby, because that fur coat looked like it needed some moisturizer, okay? Some pink oil moisturizer, some olive oil moisturizer, baby. It needed a good washing, some refluffing, because that sucker looked dry AF. So then Brahma was like, you know, why is that fighting words? And they was like, because honey, this is couture. Okay, darling, like, I don't know what you want. So Bronwyn explains about the coat and how it's only 3 in the world. And Mary says, you know, I have a whole office in my house and it's just clothes. You know, growing up, it was 5 of us and we never really had enough. So Brittany says, so you became like a hoarder? where the fuck did you get hoarded from that? Like, what, bitch? What? It gave me Mary met her match with somebody that just say whatever the fuck that come to their mind. So Mary said, not a hoarder, babe. That's a little much. So Bronwyn says, Brittany in these words, we got to get her a thesaurus. So Brittany says, I mean, I was there. You know, I grew up poor. Mary said, why is it poor? I never said that. And so I'm looking at her too, like, bitch, what the fuck you mean I grew up poor? Like, Mary didn't grow up poor. Do you not know her backstory, that her grandmother was a millionaire, multimillionaire? Like, she didn't come up poor. Did you think that she came up poor because she black? Like, she never said that. She just said that it was never enough. That doesn't equate to her being poor. So it kind of made me side-eye Brittany for a quick look second. So Brittany was like, well, you know, I come from 5 kids and I found myself hiding rolls in my purse to take home. And right hand to God, when she said that, I'm like, what kid got a purse? No, you was hiding rolls in your mama purse because your mama told you to. And Mary said, no, I would never do that. And Brittany says, well, I did that. Bronwyn says, it's totally okay. Mary said, no, that's not okay. Putting food in your purse? Bronwyn says, so Brittany was like, maybe if you grew up poor, you would understand. Baby Mary looked at her and said, okay, I'll be right back. Mary got up and walked away so motherfucking fast, baby. And Brittany says, I totally offended her. Like, yeah, bitch, and you offended Bronwyn. But it was funny because once again, Mary found somebody that matches her energy. So it was like, I kind of live for Brittany because she's the white Mary. And I was here for it. I need for them to team up and become besties because they are the same person, and I was gagging. This is what I love about Housewives. This is what is missing from a lot of the Housewives shows: the fun shade, the quirky moments, the fashion, the elitism. Am I saying the right word? I don't even know. The superiority, the bouginess, the richness of it all. The couture, honey. This is what we need from Housewives shows, and this is why Salt Lake is bringing it for me, because it's just enough drama, but it's more about these funny ass moments that these kooky ass people are saying, and that's why this show is on top for me. Meredith tells Heather that this is in a scene where Heather visits Meredith at her home, her new home. And Meredith is lying in bed and she tells her that she's on her 3rd breast reduction. Her breasts just keep on growing, this, that, and the third. And then they talk about Whitney, and Meredith says that Whitney, is coming for her because at the reunion, Meredith announced that she was starting a bathroom line or whatever. And then all of a sudden after that, here come Whitney launching bath bombs, bath products or whatever. And Meredith feels like this is the second time she done did that. Meredith has her jewelry store and all of that. And then here come Whitney last season doing jewelry. And now she's doing bath products. So she feel like you trying to copy off me and be funny, right? One of the ladies at the party asks Lisa how her son Jack is doing in Colombia. And this is what I love about this show. Lisa's response is, it's teaching him a lot of things, like they have the coolest bookstores and barber shops. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck does barber shops have to do with his mission? What are you talking about? Like, these ladies are just so oblivious to life. Like, I want to be that rich. I need to be that rich in life, because that was the most idiotic statement I've ever heard somebody make. So Brahma was like, I don't really know what kind of mission Jack is on. I ain't used to that type of mission. He get the DM you, he buying coffee, and we learned that she grew up as a Mormon and that she went to BYU, which is like one of the biggest like Mormon schools or whatever, but she got kicked out. I don't think that she's still Mormon though. I think that she like moved away from the religion. I don't know for sure. So then Meredith just can't take it no more. So she goes over to Whitney and says, I gotta ask, what's up with the bath bombs? So Whitney was like, I mean, if you really knew anything about me, you would know that when I first launched my first business, it was bath bombs. Like, this is not something that I just started doing. So Mary in her confession was like, why are you guys fighting over bath bombs? And why are you fighting over tubs? Like, I don't trust baths. I don't sit in bathtubs. I don't want a yeast infection. And you know that's how all black people feel. Like, who going to sit in dirty water? Like, absolutely not. So Meredith is like, you know what happened last year. I was held accountable for all these things that Reality Von Teese did, particularly by you. And we find out that Heather told Lisa and Angie how Meredith felt earlier that week when they were all together and kikiing, and how she felt like she was owed an apology. So Angie K then decides to come over and butt into the conversation and asks to talk to Meredith. But Meredith and Whitney keep on, going back and forth. And you see Angie K like peeking her head around Whitney, and she's so thirsty to have this moment that she's nervous. And she's like nervously licking her lips. And she was like, and she looks at the camera. She's looking at the camera because she's trying to get this moment off before it's too late. And I already knew she was about to do some fuck shit right then and there. And I have a picture of that moment right here on the screen where you see her like literally looking at the camera because she's like, oh my God, I got to get this moment in. So Angie finally gets Whitney to walk away. And she was like, Heather made me aware that you wanted an apology. I'm happy to give you an apology, Meredith. Here's a few things, though, that I would like an apology for. And this heifer pulls out a scroll from her Hermes Birkin bag and dangles it and was like, number 1, da-da-da-da-da. Number 2, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm looking like, girl, you really thought you did something with this, but that was so corny. So corny, so contrived. It didn't land. It didn't hit. You looked goofy. Even Mary was like, girl, no. Like, what were you thinking? Like, it was giving try hard. No, stop. Stop with the gimmicks. It did not go well. Like, girl, like, no. Please don't ever do that again in your life, because that was so cringy. And you ought to be embarrassed, Angie. Like, you doing way too much. The ladies finally sit down for dinner, and Mary quickly notices that she's seated next to Brittany, and she tells Angie to switch seats immediately because she does not want to sit next to this bitch. But I don't know if Angie wasn't paying attention, because they still ended up, I think, sitting next to each other. So Mary in her confession talking, so how am I sitting next to her? I don't want her sticking bread in my purse. I can't even relax. She had to do it recently because you're little. You don't have a purse. I was like, Mary, I am here with you, because what kid has a purse unless their mama gave them a purse to sneak food, or like I said earlier, she was sneaking food in her mama's purse. So I'm like, Mary, like, girl, this was something you was just here recently doing, and I don't want to be next to you if you about to be up here stealing silverware and shit to take home. Baby, Mary is reality television gold, all right? Gold. So the ladies are inside the barn and they're sitting down eating, and the scroll comes up. And now it is time for Keisha's Theater. I think that was a bad foot to start on. No, it was a response. You told me she wanted an apology. And so do I. I already apologized to you, Angie. I'm not engaging with you. I refuse. I'm just not going to do it. Go ahead and ignore me. It's easier that way, right? She turns away because she's fucking guilty. You resolved it, Ange. We never resolved her telling someone to fucking take my home. Is that cool? I have a daughter. A daughter. You don't do that to a family. Oh, God. Yeah, Meredith, don't try to downplay it. What did I do, Angie? Telling people she should sue and fucking take my house? I didn't tell her to take your house. That is absurd. You did. We are so finished. We are finished. Just leave me alone. You leave me alone. You live your life and I'll live mine. And we'll be peaceful and happy. Live it. I do. In your fucking rental. Whitney then decides to confront Lisa about the whole podcast situation of it all. Your podcast wasn't about you. It was about me. Well, I think that you're self-absorbed. So you heard it was about you. Whitney, that is completely uncool. Can you tell me what part of the podcast you're mad about? Oh my gosh, where do we start? Because that podcast was 2 hours long and I did not talk about you for 2 hours. Well, you talked about me enough. Do you want to say you're sorry? Well, I need to know what offended you. Well, if you're going to lie about me, expect me to tell the truth about me. I am not a liar. What did I lie about? You went on a podcast and you bashed me. You're upset that I didn't speak about you like you're a rose or something that grew out of concrete. You lied about me and you disparaged my character, Whitney. That bothered me. I have not lied. Lisa, no, I have not lied. My experience wasn't a lie. That is my experience of you, Lisa. The problem is, I think that if I don't kiss every part of your asshole, that I'm not a good enough friend for you. And by the way, I'm no butt licker. Dear God. I've owned everything that I've ever said about you, good, bad, or indifferent. And you keep bringing it up like it was brought to me this week that you brought it up. Wait. Back up the truck here. Bag it up. Beep, beep, bitch. What did you hear that I said about you this week? What did you hear that I said about you? No. What did I lie about, Lisa? Let's start there. No. Who told you? Because it could only be you or you that told her about the conversation that we had. You've been hearing things and there's only 2 people that could have came back and told you. And it was her and her. So what did you hear? I'm not speaking until you listen to me. So we're just going to be in a Mexican standoff. Arriba. Ay. For the record, I have said nothing to Whitney. Did you tell Whitney about the conversation that me, you, and Heather had? Which part? All of it. Clearly she did. Oh, shut up, Meredith. I talked to her about it. Yeah, you know how I feel about this right now. I am isolated right now because I don't have anybody I can talk to. You both vent to me. You said a plenty and she said a plenty and I have a good and plenty. It's not about who says plenty. It's about you repeating what I said. Don't fucking do that to me, Angie. I told her. Are you involved in this? Do you want to be involved in this? Angie K, do you want to be involved in this? I don't. Well, then stop talking. Zip it. Why is she talking? Because you vented to me. Yeah, and she lied about me and you know it. What did I lie about, Lisa? I have your back. You should have my back right now. I know you both, and I just feel like Lisa doesn't want to be wrong. Wait, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't care if I'm fucking wrong. I don't want to be lied about. Don't fucking lie about me. I don't want you to call me a liar, Lisa. You've lied about me, you've lied about her, you've lied about her, you lied about her, and you lied about her. And you fucking said that I fucked somebody that I didn't fucking fuck of a fuck.
I took it back and I said, I'm sorry, Lisa.
Who just threw that?
I haven't done anything but call you a villain, which I stand by. I will be your villain then, bitch. Game on. I'm not asking you to be a villain, Lisa. You want me to be your villain? I'll be your villain. I am not a liar. Do not come after my character, Lisa. Don't call me a liar. I do not lie. I have given you grace, but I feel like in your healing journey, Whitney, you feel like you're morally superior to all of us in this like weird way where you're like chastising us. I'm just being me, okay? That's all I could ever be. And if I'm not good enough for you, then I don't really know what to tell you. I'm not on the same journey as you. We're not on the same journey. Well, maybe you should be. Now, come on, she doesn't have to act like you. Now she's weaponizing my trauma against me? I would never do that. In text messages, you said, keep healing, Whit. You need to keep healing because you won't stop. And you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. You want to see the hill, Whitney? Yeah. Fuck you, Lisa Barlow. And your little dog, too. Then you can leave. Bye. Get out. Leave my party now. And
Scene.
child, when I tell y'all they showed they raggedy asses this episode and I was here for every second, this episode gave me a bunch of giggles, laughing fits, jaw-dropping moments. It was everything that I needed and more have been missing from the Housewives. This season premiere put Dubai to shame. I will say, though, that I feel like the girls were putting 10 on 20 in this episode. And I feel like they all came together knowing that we got to bring it to prove that getting rid of Monica was the right decision. However, Monica was brought up several times in this episode. And I feel like her presence was there and also missing because it's so much left that has been unsaid and unspoken of and healed from that situation where Monica needs to come back next season. She shouldn't have been fired from this season, but she most definitely needs to come back next season because there's too much unfinished business there. And she knows where all the bones are buried. And I feel like the ladies this season came back arguing over trivial things, even though it was entertaining. Don't get me wrong. But there wasn't a lot of meat and potatoes there. Monica is that missing piece. I feel like if they bring back Monica next season, we have an all-star stellar cast. Keep everybody, including Bronwyn and Brittany, and bring back my girl. She is desperately needed. Do I think that the girls brought it? Yes, but it was a bunch of forced, contrived arguments that really added up to nothing. We're arguing over bathtubs and being called a villain. And, then, when Lisa threw the candle, it's like, okay, girl, you having your Lisa Rinna moment. Like, come on, bro. Like, been there, done that. It was very performative, but it was entertaining AF. The breakout stars for me from this season premiere were most definitely Bronwyn, Brittany, and Mary. They brought it. I feel like Mary is just being Mary. I think that she had the most authentic moments out of everybody, but the girls did a great job. But Monica is still needed. But this season is chef's kiss. I adored it. I cannot wait to watch it again and cackle and laugh, honey, because they gave me a key. You heard me? I'm going to give the season premiere episode of Salt Lake City an A+. Y'all know I really give those out. They did the doggone thing. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Keisha's Theater, and happy 1-year anniversary to Keisha's Theater. Also, you guys, join me over on Patreon right now on my $10 tier. We're watching Fight Night and Selling Sunset. So all 4 episodes are up right now. I'll be filming episode 5 of Fight Night today, so it'll be up as well. And Selling Sunset is so good. I am thoroughly invested. So make sure you guys join me over on Patreon so you guys can watch along with me. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know when my videos drop. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.